Well, hello and welcome everybody. Happy Saturday to you, and the first day that we're out of completely of the retrograde. Woohoo! I am so happy to be here today with Mitchell Osborn, who is an intuitive reader, and I was so thrilled to find him. So thank you for being with me today, Mitchell.
Thank you. I'm excited to
Uh-huh.
be here.
Uh-huh. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I found you. I spend a lot of time looking around to see if I can bring some fabulous people to my group, and I found you, and I was thrilled to find you. So thanks for agreeing to come on with me today. I love
I
it.
appreciate it. And I'm looking at, will I see chat messages here or do I need to open up my YouTube? How does that part work?
Um, it's up to you. I guess
Okay.
if you open your YouTube though, you need to mute it because isn't don't we get the over chat otherwise? But
Yeah.
yeah, you can do what you want. Oh, Flora's here from Australia. Welcome, Flora. It's nice to see you, dear. Hi, Nancy and Jackie and Scott.
Oh,
Woo!
I just realized if I hit comments versus private chat, then I can see everybody.
Oh, that might help. Yeah. Okay. The only problem
Yeah.
is you can't write in it, but when you're a guest, but
Oh, that's
that's
okay.
fine. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my
And hi.
gosh.
Yes. Hi, Libra lady. Hi, Andrea. I'm so happy to bring Mitchell to you all here today. He's on East Coast time in the beautiful state of Florida. And we were just chatting about his interesting governor. And I know. But yeah. And Mitchell, how long have you been on YouTube?
but let's see. I can tell you that it's August. Let's see, August 1st, is it? I have
Okay.
it in my YouTube birthday is August the 2nd. And my first one I ever did was 2012.
Oh,
8
wow.
2 2012, and in my calendar I have that as a birth date, and I have my first video link in my calendar, so every year on that birth date I post my first video, so you can see how sad I was. Hi, my name is Mitchell, and this will be, I'm shuffling, it's so funny because I'm like, oh my gosh,
Uh-huh.
I've come a long way.
Really, it's true. People have looked back. I started in November of 2020 in response to being home all that year and just going nuts, and needing community. And I go back to look at it. I had longer hair. I was, everything was very different. So that's fabulous. I didn't realize you've been on 10 years.
And the first 2.5 to 3 years, I did a video every single day,
Oh,
a
wow.
daily draw every single day. I
Uh
even
huh.
remember my husband and I went to Italy and I pre-recorded like 14 videos. And
Oh, my.
I remember waking up early and sitting on the toilet where the Wi-Fi was the best and like downloading that day's video so I wouldn't miss a day.
So you wouldn't
And
miss a
then
day.
yeah, and
Wow.
somewhere around the 3 year mark, I cut myself a little slack because my business started growing, so I needed to dedicate
Sure.
more time. And then I just went to once a week, and I just do a weekly energy forecast with the tarot, and I've done some other stuff. So I love it.
Wow. Wow. And do you do personal readings for people?
I do,
Appointments? You do?
I
Okay.
do. I probably see about let's see 20 virtual live clients a month because I have basically 5 to 6 slots on my acuity calendar open, but then
Uh-huh.
I'll probably get another 20 clients that purchase, like say they'll buy the Celtic Cross spread, and I use the YouTube as my delivery system. I just leave them unlisted, so
Sure.
I do the
Yeah.
spread and I send it to them, and it's an unlisted video that they get to watch as much as they want, so it's a really cool system.
That is
So
a good.
this
Yeah.
part-time career is pretty good gig because I do have a full-time career.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I also do, I mean, I teach the college level humanities and English. And so, yeah.
Nice.
So this is just my love. I've loved it from the time I was in high school, and certainly not on YouTube or whatever, but just a love that I've had forever. And so, it's love made visible, and that's what you do too. It sounds
Oh, I
like.
love how you said that. Love made visible.
Absolutely. And the people that are in the chat are so invaluable to us and on our channels, and we are just really, really lucky. We are really lucky.
And I recognize Jay to the Aki, Jackie, and Scott. I'm looking
Oh,
to see what other
good.
name. Yeah, those two I definitely know, and I'm looking at the other names to see if I recognize them. So it's
You
good to see
might.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got, I want to just shout out to a couple more people. Viviani, it's nice to see you. Yes, Jackie's wonderful. Gina, Kate, just Kate. Let's see, Swampy 63, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, Scott has really taken off with his videos and his community. And of course, Jackie's always there helping him along. Have you met Tarot Stash Gerald? Have you met him yet?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that whole side of the community is so much fun. Oh my God, do we laugh? It's just fabulous. It really is. Yeah.
I'm looking to see if I recognize any of the other names.
Yep. Cartomancy, hi, Angela. Good to see you. Yep. So, well, and G. Covington, hi, welcome. Thanks for all coming out on Saturday morning to meet with Mitchell. I'm so happy that we have a good group of folks here today. Yeah. And we're going to probably do some readings in a little while, but I'm going to talk to Mitchell just a little bit more about some of his process. So when did you start, Mitchell? When did you start getting even interested? I know you're younger. Did something happen or an experience?
So, the whole metaphysical world, when I was 6, 7 years old, I was, the hyperactive child. So much so, and of course, you probably know as well as I do, they didn't pass out Ritalin back in the late 60s, early 70s like they do today. The doctor said to my mom, give him coffee. So at 6, 7 years old, I was drinking coffee because caffeine is speed, Ritalin is speed. It's a cheap way, a way they did it to help focus me.
Sure.
But, I was a kid who was awake Sunday morning, 6 a.m. And, the parents would be like, get out of our room. And I had an older brother and younger brother. And my mom played a lot of cards like bridge, hearts, Tripoli. So a lot of games were played, and especially bridge. So I was always exposed to cards. And I remember on those Sunday mornings, I would get my mom's deck of cards and I would hold one of them up against my head and I would try to guess first the color because I knew I had a 50-50 chance. And this is when I was like 6 or 7.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And then I would try to guess the suit because that's 1 out of 4 chance. And then I would try to guess the exact card. And I even tried to move pencils with my brain. So as a young age, I was into that kind of stuff. And then growing up, somewhat conservative family in Polk County, Florida. But we could talk about dreams. So dreams were talked a lot. My mom was a pretty vivid dreamer, and she was somewhat prophetic in her dreams. So that could keep my spiritual kind of stuff alive.
Sure.
But then, I threw myself into group fitness exercise in 87. Theater came along at the same time in 87. Spirituality. I started my degrees in theater.
Okay.
Beautiful. And then, so a lot of started shifting, and I, spent like 9 years in and out of therapy trying to, figure the whole gay thing out. And it was good because I got so much else taken care of. And then flash forward to 1999, I'm at a Barnes and Noble in Orlando, Florida, Sand Lake Road. And I'm in the cafe and I was like, I could hear like, come over here. And I was like, okay. I walk over into the spiritual section and this book, and it's back there on my shelf, by Deborah Lynn Katz, You Are Psychic. And this was, so this is like 20 years ago. Sure. And I bought that book. I closed my blinds and I would read it. I would watch the TV show Medium, through the late 90s and the 2000s. And 1999, everything shifted, came out of the closet, started reading, started studying. When I met my now husband and boyfriend and moved in with him in Orlando in 2008, I then could take classes with people because the last, 10 years I've been studying on my own, practicing solitary, and started taking classes. By 2009, I said, where's my psychic boot camp? Like John Edwards has a psychic boot camp. His was the flea market on Long Island. Right. Started reading cards professionally at the island at Universal Studio Orlando.
Oh, wow.
They have card readers there. And it was a great experience and a horrible experience because I'm in this tiny little space. There's someone's butt right here as they're buying merchandise from the counter. On the other side of this wall was the Blues Brothers playing as loud as they can on the street. So I'm literally trying to read, but it was just such focus for me to bring in that
Yeah.
focus and training. It was my boot camp. It was my boot
It
camp.
was a boot camp, like
Yeah.
trial by fire. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, I'll never forget, like one dad brought their like 13 or 14-year-old kid up, and he literally goes, "Oh, this is serious." Because, they think it's like, oh, it's,
Yeah.
it's universal. It's all fun and games. But I wasn't
Right.
giving him anything bad, but I was like telling
Right. Right.
some serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
But
Yeah.
and then probably 2009 or 10, my website up and doing my thing. In 2012, the YouTube channel, and I've got to teach on the main stage at Reader's Studio,
Wow.
and that was a big highlight. I've taught at StarCon, which this is their second year they had. It's down in South Florida. So
Uh-huh.
I love and
Mhm.
I love to read. I love to read cards. So
I understand.
I'm
Yep.
I'm one of, I keep hearing a lot of teachers and authors say, I don't read professionally anymore. They just teach on a big scale or they write books. And I'm like, maybe I'll do that one day, but I'm like, I love to read for
Yeah.
people.
There's something about staying with
Yeah,
it that just
yeah,
makes you more, involved in it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Good
So,
for
but
you.
yeah, so that's my
Yeah.
in a long nutshell, a big nutshell. That's my journey.
Wow. That's wonderful, Mitchell. I mean, I remember when I'm about 10 years older than you, and went to college when I had a ton of gay friends, but nobody could come out of the closet, so I knew they were, but nobody else did. It was a big secret. So I went through all of that, and the same thing happened with metaphysics. You didn't talk about it. There were no books about it. Astrology was about the only one, and of course the Ouija board, which I wasn't interested in, or tarot. And so I learned myself, like you. And one day when I walked into a bookstore about 2002, I think it was, there was a whole section, it was a whole section on New Age, they called it, of course.
Yeah,
But you'd never find that before. You would see some of these books, but in the 90s, it kind of picked up.
yeah,
But finding a whole section on it, I felt was really took a long time to do. But
yeah.
wow. And I can tell that you're a theater person. I was too. When I was in college, I was a theater person, and Scott says he wishes you had a little more energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I owned an improv as my heart. And I remember saying in theater school, I remember saying, "Oh, give me a script. I don't do improv." And one
Right.
night I'm on a stage and they're like, "You want to become part of our group?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I'll try it."
Uh-huh.
And unbeknownst to me, it was going to become part of my life.
Uh-huh.
And then I went through all the training with SAC Theater in Orlando, Florida, which is one of the longest running improv places. And I created
Wow.
my own. So for 10 years, I ran an improv theater in Winter Haven, Florida, in a little arcade by a coffee shop. We did shows every Friday night. And the reason I'm telling this is I've taught improv techniques to improve your tarot reading. And if you want to become a better reader, join an improv troupe because you'll
Okay.
get out of your own freaking way.
Uh-huh.
You'll learn to live in the moment.
Right.
You'll learn to let the reading go
Yep.
because once you're done, the client's gone. And if you hold on to it and you
Right.
keep thinking about it, that's when you get in trouble and you lose your energy.
Right.
That's where you can, hold on to people's stuff. It's like when I'm done with you, I'm sorry, but I forgot about you.
Well, everybody,
I
a
have
lot
to
of mediums say that because,
for
you're
protection.
channeling you're channeling through, and you can't do that. And yeah. So I understand completely. Wow.
I see the question. So
Okay.
Deborah, Derba, Lynn, Lynne, last name Katz, Katz.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Thank
Katz.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an older book, and they've written a second one, but that was their first one, I believe. It was good and powerful. I really liked it. And right
Wonderful.
now, I'm reading Psychic Witch by Matt Orwin.
Ooh.
It's
Okay.
good. It's
Oh,
good.
wow.
I'm
Okay.
dabbling a little bit in. People
Good.
look at me. People who are witches, they'll go, "Oh, you're more witch than you know you are." And I said, "Well, with respect, I wouldn't call myself a witch because I've not been through what I would think
Right.
is the training, but I
Right.
know I do a lot of witch stuff." Who
And
knows
I
where I'll
was,
be?
yep. And I was told every time I had a psychic reading my whole life, I was told you're psychic, and I said, I feel like I want to be, but I don't feel like I am yet. And I should have just let it go, and gone with it. But it's spirit tells us when it's time, I guess. And I
Yep.
just wasn't listening. Yep. Yep.
Well, that's who was it? Lee Harris said this the other day, and it was a powerful message. He said, a lot of times our intuition, our clairvoyance, clairaudience, all those clairs will
Uh-huh.
show us something.
Right.
He said, but if your body is not ready for it, then he says that's where you might want to pause and say, maybe you're just being shown the finish line, but you're not quite there yet.
Right. Oh, I love
Because
that.
if your
Yeah.
body's not ready to let you go into it, then that's kind of the lower self saying, we're not quite ready, but you've got, because a lot of times, we know the end of the story, but we still need to experience the journey to get to the end of the story.
That's awesome. I have to tell you that I do have an improv connection. My son went to Second City and he was in improv for years and just
Wow.
gave it up. Yeah, because he couldn't make any money really at it. And so he had to go get a regular job. But yes, and he's just he was one of those people that would have tapped in really well with what you're talking, but he's not
Yeah.
metaphysical. So
Oh,
anyway, yeah.
and he knows it,
um,
right?
so Scott says you're also a pet psychic. Oh my God. That's wonderful.
Yes. So I did not have animals when I lived alone. And if I found myself alone again, I probably would not, because my personality and nature is to be out. When I come home, I like close the door and by myself. So I know it wouldn't
Uh-huh.
be good if I had animals, but since I'm in a relationship, I'm real grounded, and we both take care of our animals, and we take care of them very, very well. So I'm smart enough.
Uh-huh.
It's like if I were straight, I'd probably not have children, because I would know it would not make a choice not to have.
Yeah.
But so when I moved in with my husband, he had Levita, a Pomeranian, he had Sheldon, a dachshund, and Toby the cat. And I remember, doing all my stuff, and all of a sudden I'm like, gosh, what's going on here? And I remember saying to someone, oh my God, I can just see it one day. My business card is going to say pet psychic, you know? So first of all, be careful what you say out loud,
Right, right.
because I will tell you, I used to say probably 40% of my clients are animal communication. I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably 50-50 now.
Wow, I bet it is.
So,
Yeah.
and
We
I
love
get
our
a
animals. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I get a lot of like Google search people. Not I get returning ones, but a
Oh,
lot of people that just found me randomly on Google, probably doing pet psychic or animal
yeah.
communicator.
Yeah.
And it's I absolutely love it. I've fully
That's awesome.
embraced it.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I hesitate, and I typically don't say things like this because it feels so egotistical, but I think part of the reason I resisted is because it was kind of easy for me, and I didn't feel like I earned it. You know,
Uh-huh. Uh,
and then I realized, oh my God, this is very natural for me.
yeah.
So embrace it.
Right.
Everything that's good doesn't have to be a challenge to get to.
Well,
Um,
that's very, very true. And I've always talked for my dogs, if that makes sense. Somebody will say something to them and they'll look at a certain way and I'll say, oh, they said this and that. And, I never thought of it as being a channeler for a pet, but I
yeah,
think I really do tune in. I just haven't done it as readings for,
yeah.
folks on the outside. Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll tell people, I said, because they'll ask me, what does it sound like? And I said, sometimes I feel like I'm like, if it's a cat, 90% of the times I'm talking to the cat. If
Right.
it's a dog, if it's a bigger dog, most of the time, bigger dog, I feel like I'm talking to their higher self or a translator.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller dogs, like the cats, I feel like I'm talking right to them. And
Okay.
again, it's often short sentences, it's often pictures and images, it's often flashes of connections to my own stuff. For me, animal communication is very much mediumship work. Because
Sure.
I
Yeah.
I don't I put the cards down when someone says talk to my animal. I've
Yeah.
done animal readings with cards, but I
Mhm.
oftentimes like, okay, this is where I put it down. Just like if someone says, "Can you connect with my grandmother who's passed on?" I don't use cards for that.
Right.
I can, but I usually don't.
Right. Right.
So
You're just trying to
so
tap into their energy. Yes. So G. Covington has a question if you would like to talk about that.
So I'm not a witch expert because I'm not a witch, but
Me either. Yeah. Yeah.
I think psychic would be the definition as what we are connecting to things not seen in the physical world, seeing energy, being clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairgustant,
Right.
clairomniscient, clairsalient. A witch is a person probably practices many different things,
Different thing.
witchcraft, spell work. From the little tiny itty bit of information I know, there are different um,
Covens?
traditions, paths, faiths.
Covens?
I
Yeah.
think I think a coven will then be connected to like a tradition.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and they're I bought another book called by Scott Cunningham, like the Solitary Witch, which is like
Uh-huh.
people who practice just by themselves, not with a coven.
Right.
So yeah, so there's a lot more that I do not know. So if anybody is a
Sure.
witch in the
Yeah.
chat, please give a definition of
Yeah.
what you call a witch.
But I think,
Um,
there's been bad press for people that consider themselves a witch, like it's something, really deviant, or, they're going to cast a spell on you or something. And I think it's just, there's a lot of worship of the outside nature,
yeah,
the seasons and all that as well. So that's
and
kind of a
and
nice thing. Yeah.
and again, the little bit that I've studied and read, witches, a lot of their practices and celebrations go back before Christianity, and Christianity just adopted theirs and made them their own.
Oh,
And the
yes.
one
Yeah.
the one thing I do
Yeah.
know is most of the witches that I have come across, they are so about preserving the planet, the earth, the
They are.
people,
Yeah.
love, energy, support. You know,
Yeah.
they will
I
all
agree.
say like, you can are you a good witch or a bad witch? Just like, a drum is an instrument that if you beat it, it sounds pretty, but if I beat you with it, it's not pretty. I
It's
mean,
not going to be good.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much
Oh,
for tackling that
yeah.
and explaining that. Yes, Andrea, you are right. Beautiful, upbeat energy. We love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. That it is. It's really nice. We all, and I know you probably do the same thing. We all try to work to keep that vibration going up with with the changes, and especially living in this world that we're living in. And so sometimes we get mired down, but it's always wonderful to have a guest on that brings the vibe up, and you're certainly doing that. So I agree 100%. Thanks, Andrea. Hi, Seascape. And oh, okay. And Swampy, you found her an editor to your playlist. Well, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And the last name is with a K, just in case. KATZ, just in case.
KATZ. Larika is lives in Sweden. And she's a wonderful Reiki person. And she said many of the old churches are built on the pagan sites. And it was a way to change people from being pagan. Isn't that interesting? And
Yeah.
many of our traditions that we have, come from the pagan traditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Like I forget, is it Christmas or was it Easter that was like a sex holiday because they needed to have babies by the other one to sacrifice. I mean, it literally
Oh,
was, yeah, it
okay.
was bizarre.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
such,
The history of
yeah,
all that is so fascinating to me.
yeah.
I've studied a lot of that. I studied even the one where they were in wicker cages. I can't think of the name of it, but it was a pagan
Oh,
religion.
wow.
Druidism. I studied
Oh,
that too. It was very just for interest. I had an interest in learning about
yeah.
some of these things, and yeah, wonderful.
I'm
Wow.
being drawn to the runes this year. So runes are what
Okay.
I've never been drawn to them. But the funny
Okay.
thing is we finally booked our cruise that we got kicked off in March of 2020, and we're going to Norway. So I'm like, it didn't dawn
Oh,
on me.
yeah.
It didn't dawn
Yeah.
on me. And all of a sudden, as I'm reading, I keep seeing, Norse and Norsemen and runes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
myancestry.com is like, a lot of, British, Wales, Ireland, and then some of that,
Egypt.
Eastern Germanic
Eastern.
stuff.
Yes.
So
Yes.
very little of anything else. And, when my eyes are a little more blue now, but growing up, they're always green, green, green. My beard was red, which I never knew
Oh,
until I played Fiddler on the Roof in college because he said, don't shave your beard until we're done. And I was like,
okay.
one day I'm like, my beard is full on red. So my hair was light brown, red.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so freckle face, green eyes, very kind of Irish, British,
Yeah. Yeah.
Norse,
Wow.
Norwayish.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's fabulous. That's great. No, I'm also Welsh and English, and I have a little bit of Finland in there somewhere,
Oh,
but not much,
well,
but yeah.
the family names are Moore and Osborn from that side.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But my grandfather, who I did not know till I was like 33 years old, was a metaphysical minister. Did not know that. Was prolific in writing stuff. And he was born in Russia. His last name was Legant, which is French, but he was
Oh,
actually German. So he came to, in the 30s, he came to Chicago, met my grandmother, who was a hillbilly from the Tennessees of Pigeon Forge. And,
uh-huh.
so there's just all this stuff,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
craziness.
That's fabulous. Wow. All right. Wow. So, hello, Melody of Anna Lee and Seascape. It's good to see you too. So, I'm going to open up the chat for. Let's start off with eight questions for us today, and we'll see from there. I don't want to get too overloaded. I try to keep this at about an hour, and so go ahead and put it in there, and we'll just keep bantering until I see. So, oh, here's something already. That's fabulous. All right. So yes, just keep putting them in there. All right. So here's a kitty question. You knew it had to come after we talked about being a pet person.
Okay, so Kitty's name was Wyatt218. So Kate, can you? No, I won't ask anything else.
Okay.
It's so funny because because this is a little more mediumship, so it might be a little give and take. So I might
That's
this
fine.
takes a little bit more
You
time.
take your time. Yeah.
But Kate, I keep being shown like shag carpet and stairs. So let me know if I'm tapped into the right energy, because I see like tearing up and down the stairs and maybe tearing up the carpet and stuff like that. And it's funny because you said kitty and I realize that, but I keep being shown in the kitten state. So I don't know if they were very, very young or that's the time that you remember them most. But it's because I keep seeing like dark paneling walls and just tearing up energy all over the place. I will say this: there's much thanks for doing all that you could for them. Makes me feel like you were probably there, probably had to assist them to cross over, like many do. Let me know if that's incorrect. And I'm trying to look at the chat. His favorite spot was above the clock on the stairs. Okay, perfect,
Oh.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. And then Kate. I feel like there was another kitten, quote unquote, they left behind. So let me know if there was like another cat in the house that makes me feel like they live forever or they're still alive. So I feel like there was one that they left behind that's still out there kicking and alive.
Okay.
So he was 18 when he passed. That's a good long life for a cat.
It is. Yes, left
Okay,
a
yes.
sister.
Left
Yeah.
a sister.
Yeah.
So Kate, is the sister still alive? Which would be, if we're talking the same age, that'd be like almost like 22. And if not, what was the sister's name? Because it definitely there's a real cool connection there.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking to see if there's any. And I'll say this while we're kind of waiting. For anyone who's lost a pet, one thing that I encourage you to do is really connect with them. Okay, she did cross. Really connect with them while they're here, because then it makes the connection when they're gone even stronger. And you can invite them into your dreams at night. I always say invite them in with an open heart and mind. Set the intention when you go to sleep, but also say, come to me when you know I can handle it. Because in dream time, it's real.
Yes.
You wake up, they're gone again. And it's almost like having the death happen again. So when you feel like you can handle it, because if you ever dream of someone who's gone, I've woken up crying because I'm like, they're still, crap, they're gone. That's not the word I say, but it's.
No, I know. Yeah. You want to be back to sleep again so you can see them again. Yeah. You hate waking up. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Annie, Jessie, Molly were sisters. Wow. A whole, what do they call it? What do they call a bunch of cats? not a horde.
Oh,
but
no. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's funny.
So I will say this, Kate, final kind of message. You got this, whatever transitions or changes you're making right now. I feel a solitary moment. So I don't know if you're doing some things alone, but I feel like you've got this. Don't doubt yourself. You got a whole cheerleading squad of cats on the other side. So continue moving forward. Corral. Yeah, cat corral.
I thought it was a catatonia. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, that's great. Thank you for the question, Kate. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you. All right, Marlene, you have 2 questions up. I really only want to take one. I don't know if you want Chloe or what you want to know about your future. Since the second one came up, why don't we do that one? I think that might be what you want more of. So what does her dog Chloe want you? I'm guessing Chloe is still alive.
Yeah, let me know if they're alive or crossed over,
Yeah.
but we're gonna go. I feel like Chloe's still alive.
Okay.
I laugh because sometimes they're just like water. I want more water. So make sure the water bowl is full. And anybody listening who has animals, I always say if you won't drink it, don't feed it to them. So
Right.
I encourage to do filtered water of some sorts. I avoid bottles just for the environment, but also the stuff that leaks out in them.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Brita filter, and then put it through maybe a cat fountain filter. But yeah, so and also this could be just Chloe saying, I drink a lot of water.
Uh-huh.
Or if Chloe's a water dog, I forget if it's Labradors that love water, but it's like,
Yep.
give me water, make sure the water is full. Or they're spilling it, or you know what, go check right now and see if the water bowl's empty. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So let me see anything else from Chloe. Um, Ooh, so Marlene, let me know if you're dating or already in a relationship or something. If you feel comfortable. If not, just put question marks like you don't want to talk about it. The reason I'm saying that is because I almost feel like Chloe's like, they're like, kick him to the curb. Um, there's this kind of feeling of be conscious of who you're spending your time with. You might, and maybe some weeding of the social garden. So not dating. Hope the relationship is okay, if it is one. But ultimately, be conscious of those you're giving your time to. That's the ultimate thing. And this could be where Chloe's just watching out for you. So Chloe is absolutely telling me, I am here to ground and I'm here to heal. So let me know how how much, not old, how much Chloe weighs, because I feel like Chloe is not heavy, but like a firm, stout, animal. So there's healing and grounding for. And
Wow.
another thing that I will say to everybody, if your animals exude unusual behavior, like a cat peeing or a dog aggressive, sometimes and most of the times it's because they're either reflecting what's going on in your own life, or they don't feel purpose and they need purpose. What is their job? We had one cat, Toby was the bug killer. Sebastian the cat is comic relief. Bartolomeo was my healer.
Yeah.
Santiago was grounding energy. Sheldon the dachshund, he was brown. He was grounding for us. So give them a role or a job or a purpose, and you usually know what it is.
Uh-huh.
She's like a large Q-tip.
That's
Oh,
funny.
I
That's
love it.
funny,
So
Marlene.
grounding and
Oh,
healing. And when I say healing, let me know also if they love to be physically touching you. Healers are usually ones that are always like they want to lay in your lap,
yeah.
like Pomeranians. Both of them, they would sit 10 to 20 feet away and just keep an eye, because they were watchers. That's what they were bred to do. They were to corral,
Okay.
to herd. So they didn't want to necessarily sit on you, but they were there to protect and watch and observe.
That's funny. When you mentioned the water, my Sheltie, we have a big water bowl in the house, but my Sheltie, she's always crying to go outside. And, we think she's got to go to the restroom, the bathroom. She goes out there and she likes that water out there better in a big bowl. Which is a pain in the neck at times, but isn't it funny how they have their own little quirky things like that?
Yeah.
It
And
is.
what I would say is, look and see if they're trying to quote unquote get you outside a little bit more. Have you been
Okay.
spending too much time? Because anytime I'm working with a client and they start, pointing the finger at the animal, I usually say, now turn it on you. And what might it be? My
Yeah.
cat's pissing all over the place. I said, how are you doing? How are you? How's life with you? Oh my God, I hate my job. I hate my work. Sounds like you're pissed at everybody.
Right.
So the
Right.
cat, and I said, a lot of times you change that behavior and the cat's done.
Yeah.
They
I hear
change,
it.
they shift.
Yeah, I hear you. Wow, that's fascinating. She loves to be she loves me, touch her, but she's skittish with other people. And you know what? That's okay. She's probably just your dog. That's all.
Yeah,
And
right
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
And also,
absolutely.
also she may not like the other energies. And let's be honest, how many of us healers, very empathic,
Uh-huh.
you're not going to hug somebody who's a mean, nasty person, because their energy
That's
don't
right.
feel good.
Yeah.
So if, when I would lay in my red chair and meditate, that's when Bartolome would get on my chest. because I was in a very calm, centered, harmonious place. And that's when
Uh-huh.
he could handle the energy and be with me, you know?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Wow. Fascinating. Thanks for the question, Marlene.
Thank you.
All right. Talking about a cute little dog, Seascape has this picture of her little dog, and I love it. But I have everything I need to change things work-wise, but how do you get to the action step without knowing what the action step is? That's a great question. That's a great
And
question.
first of all, I'm loving the image of the little dog with the number 1. And I'm a numerologist, so there's the number 1 shining me in the face as you're asking me, how do I take the next action step? And I would say start. You know, if we think of cards, the number
Yep.
1s, the aces, the magician, the
True.
wheel card, you know,
Yes.
19 is the sun, you know, all are starts and beginnings. So are you pulling cards too? Because I'm going to cards for this
Yes.
question.
I'm pulling
Okay.
cards on this one too. Yep. All right. So we have enough questions for now. Thank you so much. We're going to get to the questions that are left. And I'm going to pull some cards too. Yeah.
You want me to pull first?
Go right ahead. Yep.
All right. So how do I get the next action step without knowing what the step is? And the card is Queen of Cups. So this is Cancer energy. So it's interesting. I'm going to say, and I love this card. This is Legacy of the Divine Tarot, by the way. Scott, don't laugh. You know what I always use. But first of all, I'm noticing the fish here, and the fish are swimming freely. So first of all, make sure you are freely swimming and able to do this. Fish represent money and flow of money, especially in Lenormand. And again, the Queen of Cups is Cancer from zodiac sign. She's very protective. So be conscious of where you might be protecting yourself. You know, hopes and fears in the Celtic cross is often that, yeah, I want to be successful. And the fear is, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so successful. I won't have time for myself anymore. It's the two sides of the same coin.
It is.
So,
yep.
You know, and this is the second time I'm going to say Bible scripture today, you know, either be hot or cold, lukewarm, just spit you out. So make sure you know what you want and go for it. And this is where I also feel like, oh, you are Cancer. Perfect. So this is know yourself.
Yep.
And then, you know, and set an intention of what you want, keep your attention on it, and put action behind it. So whatever action you can put, like that little number 1, whatever action you can put is basically saying to the universe, yes, I am ready. Let's get this going. Let's make this happen.
Wow. Yes. So I got here that your action step may be somewhat of a karmic lesson that you're going through. Yeah.
Ooh.
But positive change is coming. And so, you know, I think you're going to know, like Mitchell said, I think you're going to know when you're going to need to, you know, what you're going to need to do, because it's going to come shining through. So, you know, just like your little picture here comes shining through to Mitchell for the ones, which absolutely, I never thought of that all this time. I've seen this avatar and I hadn't really thought about it, but there's a lot there. So
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you've got the lighter lit and you're holding the candle, but you haven't put them together. Yeah. You haven't sparked yet. It's like you haven't lit the dynamite, because that number 1 is that pure potential, but you've got to go to 2 to start creating and make it happen.
Right. We can't stay stuck in 1 with just potential. We have to make some kind of a movement. And sometimes we make a movement and we have to back up a little bit, and because some other direction we're being put in. So fabulous.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Seascape. I know you're going to do the right thing. I do.
Thank you.
Now, Wildflower Wind, that's a very simple question. You know you are is the short answer, but let's do some cards and see what comes up for you.
So while you're shuffling Wildflower Wind, I have to say this, I'm getting like an image of somebody handing you a purple flower, violet something. It's just a stem with no leaves on it, and it's just this purple flower. It's very tiny, and it's just like, this is my answer to you, which is like, you are loved. And just, you know, yes, it is a simple answer, but it's like someone showing you that love. And I love the color purple because that is absolutely our higher chakras. So it's a higher connection. And I have to tell you something. For many years, I would say, to quote the immortal RuPaul, how can you expect someone else to love you if you don't love yourself? I said that over a weekend at a conference, and somebody looked at me and said, I don't always agree with that. And I was like, tell me why, because I'm open to learning. And she
Sure.
said, there was a point where I couldn't love myself, and somebody loved me enough to help me get to the place where I could finally find my own love. And I was like, thank you. And I will probably be speaking that.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's important to love yourself, but sometimes you have to allow others to love you to see your worth. So that
Right.
could be a message for you. Allow others to love, to help, to support, to give you that purple flower, which anytime, I remember I learned a hard lesson. This guy, it was a Christian bookstore. He's like, oh, I want to give you this book. I'm like, oh, no, I'll pay for it. He's like, listen, if you don't let me give this to you, you're denying me a
Right.
blessing to give you a gift. And I was like, oh crap. So literally, even someone who's still, anybody says, oh my gosh, you look so good today, I have to go, thank you so much. I
Right.
appreciate that. Because
Right.
my first instinct is say, oh, no, I don't. It's,
We grow up that way, don't I mean,
yeah,
that's what we do, but
because
it's
it's
not
pride,
right.
it's ego if you think that. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
accept the
But we
gift.
have to appreciate it and say thank you, because people are not saying it just for no reason. And it's a compliment. If a compliment is made, or a book is something, wants to gift you something, absolutely. I love that. Thank you
Yeah,
for reminding us of that, because I think that's
yeah.
very, very important. Yeah. So,
What'd you
all
get?
right. First of all, you're loved, and I love you, Wildflower. So, but I get here, a cleansing, and an attunement is necessary. You need to, uh, you know, immerse yourself, let's say, in the idea that you are very deserving, and that you deserve love, you deserve hope, you deserve everything. And look at this. I got magic lamp. You've got hidden magic in you that's manifesting, and your hopes and wishes are coming to fruition. So, you know, be on the lookout for this magic lamp. Obviously, it may not be in the form of a magic lamp, but it's certainly wish fulfillment and hidden magic that you have in your heart. So that's fabulous. Very good. And please know
Beautiful.
you are divinely loved. Yes.
And
All
I bet
right.
you this chat room could fill up with people who love you as well.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody here is always so kind. It's just wonderful. So, yes. So, Viviani, what does her cat Bedford want her to know? Please ask him to stop the whining and meowing.
So if you've been paying attention to what I said already, this is where I'm going to circle back around and I'm going to say, so first of all, Viviana, how are you doing? And are you bitching and complaining about life and things? If you can literally say, no, I'm not, like, I mean, we all have a little bitching and complaining, but if that's your ownership of who you are, then this could be a time to really say thank you, Bedford, for showing me how much I am meowing out loud to the world. But also, it could be Bedford really trying to get you a message across. So a
Mhm.
lot of times, like, and I learned this from Santiago, I'm in the bed, it's 5:30 in the morning, I'm posting my daily card, and he comes up and wants to get in my face, and I'm like, why are you bothering me? And what do I do now? I put my phone down, I just lock the screen because I go right back to where I was doing without any
Right.
problem, and I love on him.
Uh-huh.
And if nothing else, he's taught me to stop, pause,
Right.
love me, love you, let me love you.
Right.
It's 5:30 in the morning. Why are you working? Be here now in this moment. So they've taught me to kind of do that pause and that reckoning. So then those are some cat lessons or some animal communication lessons
Cat
101. Now,
lessons.
now let me tap into Bedford's energy and see what's going on. Um, I will say this, and this is where we talked about beforehand. I'm not a vet, I'm not a doctor, but I would look into things that might create inflammation in a system. Check the water, check the food, check the chemicals and things that you clean and do the house with. Be very conscious that if you clean the floor, your animals walk and they lick their paws. So the reason I'm saying that is because I feel a slight bit of inflammation in their system. If you were a human, I would say, are you consuming wheat, dairy, and corn? Because they're like the top ones that, typically inflame our bodies. But I do feel like there's an inflammation. I don't feel like the meowing is out of pain, but more of communication.
Okay.
So just be conscious of anything that might do some inflaming, and look into things that can be anti-inflammatory. Just search like, homeopathic, naturalistic things for cats and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We use something called Feliway. It's one of those, like, you plug it in. It's a diffuser that you plug into the
Mhm.
wall, and it's to help kind of relieve the tension. Oh my gosh, it's stinky. Is it St. John's wort? St. John's wort. It is the opposite of catnip, which
Oh,
catnip gets them
right.
energized. St.
Uh-huh.
John's wort is to calm them down. And let me tell you what, I was like, okay, I'll try this. I put it on the ground. Within 30 seconds, they came from the other room because it stinks so much. They were rolling in it.
Really?
Rolling in it. Do
Wow.
your research, even though I did, and it was good. It's okay for cats, whether they consume it or just rub up against it. But also, you can usually find it in your like metaphysical bookstores and witch shops and stuff like that, and
Okay.
just buy it. So
Yeah.
it's a really cool thing.
Wow. She has Fellaway spray at home. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
And try the St. John's wort again. Do your research and study that. It's not a
Mhm.
pretty smell, so if you got people in the house that don't get what you're doing, my husband's like, "What does that stink?" I'm like, "It's for the cat's health."
Really? Oh my goodness.
Oh, did
Wow.
Gerald make it? Hey, Gerald.
Gerald made it. You did. And Mitch, Scott says he misses your Sunday morning lives. So I
Thank
guess
you,
you'll have to.
Scott. I do too. My life
Uh-huh.
is a little different with a new role, and just, yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I miss being there too. So I'm glad
Yeah.
I could be here for this.
Absolutely. I am too. Thank you so much. Viviani, I hope that helped you, dear. All right. So we've got Watcher 9997. Do we have a message for Watcher? I'm going to
Oh,
pull some cards.
yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to cards.
Yeah. Thanks for being here today, Watcher. And
Yes.
thanks to those who came in. Kevin, the healing medium, is here, and Kelly doesn't cats, and Angela, Juno, hi. Oh, everybody, anybody that I've missed, I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up with who's here because I do appreciate you being here. It's wonderful. We have a good group of folks here this morning. This is
Yeah.
great.
And first thing
Absolutely.
I'll say, Watcher, is your number 997 is a 7 number. It adds up to 34, but it's easy to determine that because you just get rid of all the 9s and hold on to the 7. And 7
Right.
is all about metaphysical, mystical, spiritual research, solitude, analyzing. So I wouldn't be surprised if you might have created Watcher 9997 just so you can kind of incognito maybe come out and learn a little bit more stuff about
Mhm.
things that are metaphysical and mystical and spiritual, and keep your kind of solitude and stuff like that. So I love the number.
Mhm.
So card wise, message for you. I pull Ace of Swords. So yeah, I love this. First of all, the aces are about starts and beginnings. Swords are about
Yeah.
thought, logic, and reason. They encompass the Aquarius, the Libra, the Gemini symbols. So I'm Spirit's telling me to pull a second card, and I got to pull it from the middle of the deck. So to tap onto this, oh, it's a Devil card. It's a good time to start, and I'm going to use the words from Spirit. It's a good time to start deconstructing the things that are holding you in false prisons. So it's a good
Mm.
time to start, and the sword is a great thing to cut away any place, beliefs, thoughts, illusions from maybe your past or growing up. I don't feel like it's past lives. I feel like it's this lifetime that you might start to question and wonder, is this the way it is? So I feel like there's some new things coming your way, a little belief changes, growth. Take your time. You don't have to kick down any closets to come out yet of whatever it is that, new way of thought, new belief, new religion, or whatever, or disavowing past thoughts, beliefs, and religions and stuff like that. But just, be true to yourself, but start to deconstruct as you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh, and the Crone Zone just showed up, and they're in your neck of the woods, Mitchell. They are way down in the Keys, though. Way to,
Oh, woo.
yeah, the Crone Zone. Thank you.
You're getting
Yeah.
some rain right now. We
Uh-huh.
got mist in Central Florida. It's
Okay.
it's it's heavy tropical storm. Hopefully, I think the drainage there. Miami's having a hard time with like flooding right now.
Well, we're getting into the hurricane season too, so let's pray for protection from
Yeah,
that.
and
Yes.
of
Hi,
course,
Brenda Tarot Readings. Thank you for coming.
water is all about emotions.
Absolutely. So, Watcher, I got the Oracle's gift here, and look at that. A cup of tea and some things there. You've got the gift. You may not want to use it, or you may choose to use it later, or whatever you want to do, but you've got it. And the universe is sending you great big love, great big love. And I love this. The last one's a microphone. No, you don't have to do karaoke, but if you want to, you can. No, get ready to communicate and express yourself, or that you feel like you want to be heard. So when your time has come, then allow yourself to be heard and step out onto the stage and let it go. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, keep
That's
investigating. Keep investigating.
definitely. Hi, Joan. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming by too. Oh, you can't carry a tune? That's okay. It could be just speaking your truth. It doesn't have to be singing. So, all
I'm in
right.
Orlando, Florida. Somebody asked if I was near Sarasota. Who is that?
Yeah.
Melody. I'm in Orlando. I'm a native
Mhm.
Floridian, so I pretty much know all of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. All right. Now here's a question for us. She lost her
Ooh.
partials from
Okay.
looking. Do you think they're still in her house?
Okay.
Okay. Take
So
your
Anita,
time.
let me type in. I love remote
Yeah.
viewing. Um,
Uh-huh.
I do feel they're still there. I keep wanting to. I think I want to reach up versus down, but it's like I want to reach up and open a cabinet,
Oh,
and I feel like a bowl with them in it. It's almost like a bowl was put in a cabinet. Is what I feel like. So sometimes what I'm seeing is not like the cabinet I'm opening could be like, dishwasher or like your
mhm.
laundry, because it's still that it's kind of a big white door and I'm opening, and sitting in like a white bowl could be like the toilet or the tub, but it's like it feels like it's kind of like ceramic or you know of sorts of a bowl. Doesn't feel, could be plastic, but it feels like a thicker, harder plastic. Doesn't
Mhm.
feel like it's in a place that's wet. It feels dry.
Okay.
And I do keep feeling up a little bit more, because
Is
it
there
feels like
something
we're,
does it feel like it's blocked by something in front of it? Do
yeah.
you feel
In other
that?
words, it
You
feels like
do?
it's a place that's dark and
Okay.
needs to like open up to the light. So,
Yeah.
and I don't feel trash unless there's a white garbage can, because I'm seeing a lot of white. If there's a white garbage can, then it could be in the garbage. You said 3 days. If you've already thrown garbage out, then that's another story. I wouldn't recommend digging through the garbage.
Right. Right. Wow. Well, I sure hope you find them. I know my brother used to put his partials in with, the cleaning solution in a little hard plastic container, but sometimes people just put it in a cup or another type of container. I hope you find it, Anita.
Yeah, and look,
Yes.
I know this is weird. Look around the toilet, like maybe behind the toilet, because porcelain was a word that kept standing out too, and that's
Okay.
something that porcelain.
All right. Well, let us know if you find them. I hope you
Yeah,
do, dear. Yeah.
it's
Take care
funny.
of
I
you.
feel mischievous energy around it, so
Somebody
I
might have
hope
moved.
I hope no, I hope nobody like human is moving it. I'd rather bring
Right.
somebody non-human.
Right. Somebody from spirit wanting your attention.
Yeah,
Just your partial intent. Just your partial attention. Get it? Yeah.
but then here. So, and here's the other thing. So, in dream interpretation, teeth can often be about chomping down on knowledge, assimilating. So, where might you
Yes.
be avoiding learning a lesson? Where might you be avoiding, taking a
Yeah.
bite out of knowledge and understanding and
Mhm.
growing? Like if you've got something to learn right now and you're going, no, I don't want to sign up for that class, or I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to,
Yeah.
be conscious of that, because basically you're saying, I don't want to. So, well, let me remove the thing that helps you chew and break down knowledge, it's like if you don't want to go to work and your car breaks down, well, your prayers
You
were answered.
manifested that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Words are very, very powerful. for lots and lots of reasons. But I also do look just like you. I look at how they're metaphors or analogies for something else.
Yeah,
That's the English teacher in me. But yeah, that's awesome.
exactly.
Good idea. Great idea. Thank you. Good luck, Anita. All right.
Yes.
So, Leota Crow, thank you for coming and also for giving us a question. You have a cat, Gina, that's 13, afraid of everyone but you, cries a lot if she can't get to me. She has a thyroid condition, wonders if you can see anything else. And we're not vets, but we'll do our entertainment purposes only. We'll see what we can come up with for you.
So, Leota, the first thing I would say about, Gina is the fact that she's afraid of everybody else but you. How are you doing? Do you have some, fear of crowds or people? Would you, are you kind of a hermit, person, and you just rather be by yourself at home? If so, the cat may be mimicking, reflecting some of that back to you. She cries a lot for you. If she can't get to you, then this is where I'd say, how are you doing? Do you have some abandonment issues? Do you have people around you, or is your family distant and you can't get to see them often? You can only talk to them and you don't get to travel to them. I know the last 2.5 years may have made that, very
harder.
difficult, but this is, again, looking at, just what you said, but also how the cat's reacting to you. And then again, what I talked about earlier, if you were here listening, find a job, a role, or some purpose for your cat Gina. What does Gina do? If she's very good about cuddling, then maybe she's a healer. If she's real good about killing the bugs in the house, and I'm a Floridian, so no matter how much money you got, you're gonna have bugs in your house. Right. That could be her role. So find the purpose, the job. It could be communicating. It could be literally communicating to you what's going on in the unseen world.
Right.
And then with thyroid, I'm not going to take time to look it up, but one of the things I recommend to everybody, if you don't have You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay,
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Then look up what thyroid conditions represent. Like cancer is often about, internalized anger. So where are you angry about things?
Right.
Because again, the cats and animals in our lives will maybe reflect what's going on. And sometimes you say, thank you for the message. I got it. Yep. You don't have to show me anymore. And then they move on and you deal with whatever the energy is coming back. But then just to tap into Gina's energy, let me see. Gina's like a 17-year-old, cheerleader that just wants to party all the time. So it's like, so Leota, I hope you're getting out. I hope you're having some fun. I hope you're able to, quote unquote, party, however that may look to you. The bottom line is enjoy life. I feel like Gina's saying enjoy it. And if you read, I'm going to look up the thyroid, because I bet you it may be something about like enjoying life a little bit more. But it's like, I want to say, find the joy in life.
It also regulates your weight and things like that. I do know that's about thyroid. So, all right. So Leota, I get this garden. It's one of my favorites, a beautiful uncaging. And so the keys are there. She thinks she is communicating really well with you, but she is attached to you. And she says, I just really need to be there. And she's good for helping you heal old wounds, it looks like. So anything that she's there for. And I just got myself a dog, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she's an older baby. And that dog has to be everywhere with me. And I feel like it's a karmic relationship, that we are here for each other. And so I'm guessing that, she's afraid of others because she doesn't trust anybody but you. And you're the one you're her person.
And I did look up thyroid issues, and that is hatred for being inflicted upon, victimhood, feeling thwarted in life, or unfulfilled. So I would take a lot of those things and see where they may be, part of your life. And, Leota, just sit with some of the things that we've said today, allow them to marinate and see what comes up, and connect with Gina and say, Gina, what about those things they said today? What do you think about that? And just then feel from your heart to Gina's heart and connect that way.
Absolutely. Sometimes you don't realize things until later. You'll hear something, you hear a name, or you hear an idea but it doesn't resonate until later. But yes, please, everybody needs to get You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I've had it for years, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard it recommended here on YouTube from a lot of
and
different people.
I got the book on just like on my phone. It's a hot
Oh,
button on my thing,
excellent.
so I
There
can
you
just look
go.
something up real quick.
Absolutely. Melody of Anna Lee wonders how her Siamese Luna is feeling towards staying on the earth longer. She's okay today. Sometimes we do have a fear that we're going to lose these babies for whatever reason, and that's a difficult thing too.
So, and Melody of Anna Lee, I can feel a real good understanding from you. So I feel like Luna has a very specific lesson to learn their self, and I feel like Luna has some important lessons to teach. I do not feel like Luna's job is done yet, so I feel like they're going to be here a little bit longer. I highly recommend doing your own kind of energy work, tapping, Reiki, whatever. Somebody that I highly recommend on YouTube to watch, and if someone could type this in the chat, Ferris J, Ferris Jay, Ferris Jay. That's a person's name, and I highly recommend their YouTube channel. So if you Google Ferris J, she does EFT tapping for animals, and her work is amazing. I started to create. I have a few of that I created on my own, but her work is so good. But if Luna is suffering, older, got some body issue stuff going on, I have done this work on my animals, and it is amazing. It is powerful. Because a lot of times when you're tapping for the animal, because you can either tap on yourself as a surrogate for them, or you can tap on them. Not all animals like being tapped on, especially in the spots you want to tap. But either way, especially when you're tapping on yourself as a surrogate, you're clearing your own shit. Excuse me, but you're clearing your own stuff. Which a lot of times our stuff is what's screwing them up. Because they're there to mimic and show it back. It's not to lay blame or fault. It's they've signed up to come into our life and help us. Yeah, they have.
I had an animal do that. She contracted a big tumor that I think would have been mine, but she used to lay on my stomach all the time, and she took that tumor. She did. I just know she did. Yep. Which is sad.
We do the best we can for them. And then the best thing you can do is honor them by thanking them and learning the lesson that they were teaching you.
Such selfless love. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Luna says, life is a burst of magic, Melody. Look at this. There you are, coming out of a beautiful lotus. She just loves being with you, and she'll stay as long as she possibly can. She says, do you have three? It says 3 people. I don't know if there's you and 2 others in your family, or are there maybe 3, like your cat, you and someone else? I don't know. But it says there are external factors that may come into play. Maybe they're difficult at times, or if some third party comes in or third animal comes in. But honestly, she just loves you and sends you all kinds of magic. So, yeah. Oh, Flora, you know what? I tried to do the wish list at Amazon. She wants me to do a wish list at Amazon. And I can't figure it out, and I'm working on it. I promise. Yeah. Oh, Mom passed, but is here with you. All right, Melody. So apparently it's that third person she wants to remember. And that's your mom. That's awesome. Because they can see. Luna can see your mom. I don't you think so too,
Mitchell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that. They see, they can see orbs and people and all kinds of stuff. Wow.
Yeah, cats move through the veil very easily. Not a lot of the dogs do, but the cats definitely do.
Wow.
So do a lot of the reptiles, which I love reptiles.
All right, we got one more question for the day, and that's from Laura Babcock. I'm guessing, Laura, that is your husband on the other side. I'm guessing that's where you're asking us to I'm going to be pulling cards because that's what I do. I don't know what Mitchell's going to do, but let's see if we can get you a message. If your husband is here, let us know.
Yeah. So first of all, if I get a name, I say it, whether I'm right or wrong. I don't care anymore. But I keep getting Jim or James, so let me know if that's the name. And I get this whole like I get this. I'm on a dusty highway. I'm like it's like Texas desert area, long drive. Um, and I've got my cigar, and no one's messing with me. It's like this open road feeling, which
Oh,
makes me feel very free. Lots of fun. It's like I'm headed out hunting with my buddies. So it makes me feel like he's in a very good place.
uh-huh.
I would say this, it makes me feel like his passing was known. I don't want to use the word planned, but it makes me feel like it was very well known that he was probably going to exit. Um,
Hmm.
there's a fighting hard, there's a pushing back, but there's a like also like you two looking at each other and kind of going, we know. And there's moments where there were no words even spoken, and you just looked at each other and you're like, it's going to be okay. It's like there's this look of the eyes, and it's like you're reading each other's minds. You're so connected. It's like heart to heart. I wouldn't be surprised if you like physically laid on top of him, either close to or at the end, like where the heart was heart to heart. It's almost like that's how you communicated, was from heart to heart. Um, but he's just echoing, you are stronger than you think. And take care of the boys. So let me know if there's 2 or 3, and if they're boys,
Hmm.
like take care of them. They could be animals, but I'm feeling they're more human. So let me know about that.
Okay. Awesome. So if you can answer any of those, Laura, let us know. I pulled some cards. I have here that you have some roots of abundance, and he planted those for you. So whether that may not be necessarily money, but it could be other things. He gave you abundance in love for sure. He says, I am just at the land in between. Look at this. I don't know how long he's been gone, but some folks, they take their time about getting to the other side. Some go directly over there, don't want to be messed with. Some go sort of wait and see attitude, where, and they're waiting for you because the time over there is, very different than it is here. He wants you to open up to hear any messages that he has for you. So he's trying to, he communicates with you all the time, and he just wants you to understand that he's working to stay as close to you as possible. Okay, they were very close and
Yeah,
side by side when he passed. Oh, I'm
yeah.
so sorry, dear. That is so hard, so very hard. Yeah.
And Laura, let me know if the dusty road, this out on the open road kind of a vibe. That's just the big image I keep getting,
Yeah.
because it feels
Okay.
very freeing versus like, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't have enough gas and it's hot. It's more like, yeah, this is where I love to be.
I
So
love that image because I'm a big person that likes to travel by car, and I just love to go through the desert and all that. Oh, they were married for 65 years. So
wow,
did he
yeah.
like to be out in the on the open road with you at all, Laura? Oh, that's so sweet. Well, Mitchell, oh my God, it went so fast.
I looked
Thank
up
you.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been an hour and 18 minutes.
I
That went
know,
did
I
go by
know.
fast.
It's awesome. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you so very much. Oh, yes, she says. Laura said yes, he did. Yes,
Okay,
good.
cool.
Spot on. We just like to know that we got the right person,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that gives us some validation. So, oh, that's great. Yes, they already want you to come back. So, yeah.
You
So
let
when
me
you
know
can,
when.
let me know. Yeah, absolutely fabulous. Thank you, everybody, for warmly welcoming Mitchell here. And thank you, Mitchell, for being here and offering us all your insights and love. And big love to you all. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you
Thank you,
later.
everybody. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye, everybody.